How does Demarcus Cousins' injury affect Golden State moving forward? Will the real Raptors, 76ers, and Nuggets please stand up? Is Portland that good? Is OKC in trouble? What have we learned after 2 games in each series? Stay tuned and find out. Welcome back. The playoffs are heating up. After 2 games in each series, it's a good time to get my thoughts, see if my predictions have changed at all, see if anything that's happened to make me believe a team that I thought was going to win can no longer win. So with that being said, let's move right into it. We're going to start with the champs. The Golden State Warriors. The series is tied 1-1 with them and the Clippers. They blew a 31-point lead at home. In Oracle. Durant fouled out. He got ejected in game 1. Patrick Beverley's clearly in his head, but the big story is the health of Demarcus Cousins. We know he was coming off the Achilles injury. And now he's ruptured or tore his quad, so he's done for the playoffs. How does it affect him moving forward? First things first, they got to get by the Clippers. I think Patrick Beverley is clearly in Durant's head. He's got him frustrated. He took 8 shots in the loss the other night, fouled out. Durant just needs to just play ball. All the talking with Beverley is not working for him. It's helping Beverley be able to defend him better. The Warriors, I guess they'll be fine. They did have a 31-point lead. I had them winning this series 4-1. I'm going to give the Clippers one more game, so I think the Warriors win it 4-2. But moving forward, I think the Cousins injury will impact them moving to the second round and possibly the conference finals, but we'll get to that when it gets here. Second series, we got Houston and Utah. I thought this series would be a lot closer. Houston has dominated Utah in the first 2 games. I think the Jazz are going home, so there is a chance they can get back in the series. What? I had the Rockets winning it 4-3. I don't know if Houston's going to lose more than a game in this series. Game 3 will be interested to see how Utah gets back in it. If they can control the game and win comfortably, I probably feel a little bit better with them tying the series, but I'm not too confident in them forcing Houston to 7 games right now. Houston looks really, really good. And, they're going to be a tough out if they continue to play at this level. Portland and OKC. The Blazers are up 2-0. I picked the Thunder to win this series 4-2, I believe. Maybe even 4-1. If I did say 4-1, obviously that's not going to happen. Portland's up 2-0 going back to OKC. Obviously, OKC can get back into it. Playing at home, I think they're shooting way too many threes considering they don't have shooters like that on the team. I think they just need to get back to defending, pressuring the ball, getting out on the break. That's where they're at their best. Paul George is not 100%. I think we can clearly see that. But hey, if you're out there playing, there's no excuses. So they have to find a way to get back into the series. I think they can still win it. Obviously, they have to win both at home. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. But I'm really impressed by Portland through the first 2 games of the series. Denver and San Antonio. I had the Nuggets winning this one 4-2, I believe. They lost the first one. They had a chance to win it, but the second game they were down big, 19 points, and they were able to come back. Jamal Murray and Jokic, Gary Harris. They all played big in the second game, so I think they learned something as well. In that second game, Jokic has to be more aggressive. I think he has to put the pressure on San Antonio more from a scoring aspect. He can do everything, rebound, pass, score, but I think they need the scoring aspect more in the series to make the Spurs basically figure out how they're going to stop him. They're not having to do that. I think that he did do that a lot more in game 2. Like I said, their guards picked it up, Harris and Jamal Murray, and that really affected the outcome of the game. So hopefully moving forward, they can continue that. If so, I think they can win the series in 6 games, but it could be a long one, could go the distance, so we'll see what happens. Moving on to the East, we got the Milwaukee Bucks and the Detroit Pistons. I had the Pistons maybe getting the game. I think they still can. They have 2 games at home, but they've been thoroughly dominated in games 1 and 2 in Milwaukee. Milwaukee looks like the best team in the East, and nothing has changed my mind through the first 2 games. If the Bucks continue to play at this level, they can beat anybody, and that's including whoever comes out of the West. So that series is 2-0. I expect the Bucks to handle their business. Maybe they lose a game in Detroit, but I'm thinking sweep. So hopefully they can wrap it up. Moving on to the next series, we have the Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. I hate injuries. I think it robs us as fans of getting to see the best possible matchups. This is a good matchup with Indiana and Boston, the 4-5 matchup, but I think without Oladipo, you're not really seeing whether or not Indiana can pull this off. So it's tough. Obviously, he's been out for a long time, so it's not an excuse. This is the team that they have. They have to go to war with the players they have. But it just seems like they don't have enough firepower. It seems like they don't have that guy that can go get them a bucket. When they have droughts. They went 8 minutes in game 2 in the 4th quarter without scoring. Really? That can't happen. I think if Oladipo's there, obviously I don't think that happens. So with that being said, I think the Celtics, they're fortunate actually to get out of Boston 2-0. It could very easily be 2-0 Indiana. Now they're going on the road. I think the Pacers will play better at home. I had the Celtics win the series 4-2. I think I'm going to stick with that 4-2. Unless Boston, wins game 3 or 4 in Indiana, then obviously it's tough for Indiana to get another game in Boston. But I'm going to stick with the 4-2. I think the Celtics will win the series, but I think Indiana will get a couple games. Moving on, we have Philadelphia and Brooklyn. Brooklyn shocked everybody by pretty much handling Philadelphia in game 1. Will the real 76ers show up? They showed up in game 2, scored 50 points in the 3rd quarter, I believe it was. They're capable of handling New Jersey. I just think they fall in love with the 3-ball. Obviously, Brooklyn. Brooklyn is playing really well. They've played well for a long stretch of the second half of the season, so they're confident. They have nothing to lose. I don't believe in the whole playing with house money. You're in the playoffs, so you try to win. But Brooklyn, they're not supposed to win. Philly's the 3 seed. They're supposed to beat Brooklyn. They're supposed to contend for a title. That doesn't mean Brooklyn's happy to be here. And they're giving Philadelphia all they want. Now the series travels to Brooklyn. Philadelphia needs to come out and basically hit the Nets in the mouth. They need to let them know we're here. And I'm expecting a very interesting game 3 and 4 in Brooklyn. We'll see what shakes out after the next 2 games. I still do have Philadelphia winning it. 4-1 is what I picked. It could be looking more like 4-2, but we'll see what Philadelphia is made of. Toronto and Orlando was the last series. The Raptors were shocked by DJ Augustine hitting a late three to knock off Toronto. Kyle Lowry went scoreless in game one. That didn't help. Game two, they came out, jumped on them early. I think they were up 11-0 to start the game. Kawhi played great. Played really well in the first game as well, but they weren't able to, they lost with a late shot against them. I think they see what they have to do to beat Orlando. I think maybe they took them for granted a little because Orlando, they're okay. They're not a great team. They play hard. They do have some scorers. Terrence Ross can get hot. Vucevic is really tough down low. So they have some players. They're not on Toronto's level. I think Toronto understands, okay, we have to play at a different level to beat these guys. I think moving forward, I think they're not going to play with Orlando anymore. So I think the series is over. I said 4-1 Toronto. I'll stick with that. I don't think Orlando gets another game. And I think the Toronto will wrap the series up pretty quickly. That's going to do it for the recap after the first two games. Let me know what you guys think based off of these games. Can OKC get back in it? Is Denver and San Antonio going the distance? Are the Warriors in any trouble? Toronto, can Brooklyn knock off Philly? We will see. We got games tonight, so it won't take long for us to find out. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.